On this special episode, he's taken more than a dummy can bear. But now, Buster is being rebuilt.
I gotta say, that looks like it hurt.
Every battered nut and bolt.
I love it. I think it's great.
At last, he'll get a brand new body as we get under the bruised and burnt skin of the Mythbusters' ultimate fall guy. And who did this to him? Adam Savage.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
And Jamie Heineman.
I kind of like it in here. It's private.
Between them, more than 30 years special effects and dummy wrecking experience.
That was intense.
They don't just tell the myths. They put Buster to the painful test.
Look at this poor guy, Jamie. I mean, he's been burnt, bashed.
Yeah, beaten and blown up.
I mean, we have absolutely trashed this dummy.
Yeah, it's time Buster had a totally new body, built from scratch, I think.
Remember when we first got him, how pink and perfect he was?
Fresh as a newborn baby.
Got it. Oh.
It was the start of a great adventure.
In this box right here is the new star of Mythbusters. Oh, look at that.
That's all I need is another dummy around this place.
Yeah, but you can kick this one's ass, and he'll just come back for more. What part of the body is
That
this?
would be the, goes into
Oh,
the
that's the
torso.
stomach, okay. Wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
This is like a giant-sized G.I. Joe.
Take a really good last look. He was fresh-faced, undamaged, enthusiastic, and, well, that was all about to change.
I think we should call him Buster.
Buster. Buster sounds pretty good. Kind of manly, a little, pretty descriptive.
He doesn't have any ears.
And so to Buster's first job, the exploding toilet. A can of flammable gas is somehow emptied into the bowl. Homeowner sits down, drops a cigarette between his knees, and the Mythbusters used gunpowder.
How much? I put it all in there.
That's too much.
Half of it?
That's a hell of a lot. Should give you one hell of an effect.
For Buster, it would be a baptism by fire.
If you can lift his thighs, and I'll scoot him back.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
There we go.
He was about to learn two valuable lessons. First, even for a crash test dummy, smoking is bad for your health. And second, you really should ask a few questions before signing on for TV stunt work.
Are we good to go? Yep. Ready. Go. That was great.
It didn't even move him.
No, he didn't even move.
It did blow his pants up, though.
He's still holding the cigarette.
Buster had his first myth-busting battle scars. Sadly, he wouldn't be able to show them off in polite company.
Yeah, I've had days just like this, too.
Buster had survived the mother of all initiation hazings and was now officially part of the team.
Well, that was Buster's very first baptism of fire.
Yeah, Buster is trashed.
And that was not remotely the worst that we put him through.
So we've come to a place called the Bone Room
To get some bones.
to rebuild Buster.
There aren't too many places around where you can buy human bones, but you can at the Bone Room, and plenty else besides.
Look at that. What is that?
It's a giraffe vertebra.
Look at the size of it. Crikey. So, Christina, we actually need some human bones and arm and leg bones specifically.
pull this.
There you go. That is one human femur.
It's normally a hangout of taxidermists and med students, but Jamie and Adam are looking for bones to test for strength to help with the rebuild.
And there are your bones.
Okay, well, we have some great supplies to help us rebuild Buster.
Because while he was designed to be in car accidents, what the Mythbusters did to him took him far beyond the call of his original duty.
Yeah, we came down on him like a ton of bricks.
Testing the barrel of bricks myth was Buster's first real taste of just how evil the Mythbusters could be.
I gotta say, that looks like it hurt.
And that was just the warm-up. The guys had something far more painful in mind.
Oh. How's that feel, sport? Oh, huh?
In this myth, an unfortunate builder fights a losing battle with a barrel of bricks and gravity. To test it, the guys needed a scaffold 30 feet high.
More than 10 feet, you can break limbs. At where we are at about 30 feet, you could easily die falling that high.
A pulley was secured at the top, and a rope passed through. The barrel at one end, Buster waiting nervously on the other, which was tied off on the fender of Jamie's truck. Buster had a quick-release hand, so he could let go of the rope at the right time.
Have a seat there, buddy. Your life's about to get really hard.
It was, but first, Jamie had to load in 500 pounds of bricks.
A lot of creaking going on up here.
Turns out that was more weight than the rig could handle. There was no time for Buster's last words.
I'm not even sure, actually, that the pulley's gonna stay on that pipe.
The pipe's bending. We gotta go now. Yeah. Okay?
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The barrel didn't fail.
The barrel didn't break. Buster was left hanging. And there would be no escape for our hero. The barrel was weakened, a board placed in the drop zone, and once again, Buster was ready for liftoff.
3, 2. It worked perfectly!
That was fun. That was really cool. I mean, it went up, it went down, it went up, it went down. It's like the dummy getting beaten every which way all through the whole process. That was hysterical.
So it worked. They showed the myth was possible. Time to go home for a nice rest. Or not.
3, 2, 1.
Well, the guys were happy at least. Buster had broken ribs and legs, but they seemed willing for him to pay that price.
We broke a crash test dummy, man. I think that's a red letter day. Yeah! You know, over the years, we put Buster through a heck of a lot of abuse. And if he had real bones like you and I, they probably would have broken by now several times over. So we thought, as long as we're rebuilding him, why not give him something that breaks exactly when real bone would break?
So the first thing we need to know is exactly what a real bone will take. And I built this machine here which will tell us exactly that.
All right, so lower it down.
Okay, here we go.
That's a femur, and there's 200 pounds on the bar.
Well, that's taking the weight.
Okay, upsy-daisy.
Yeah, I'll put on 25 more pounds.
The femur is generally regarded as the strongest bone in your body. But you won't believe how strong.
500.
Come on, break already. I don't know when this is going to end.
Somebody's been eating his Wheaties.
The human race? No way. 600 pounds coming up. Oh, 625.
625.
Oh!
Man, that was violent.
625 pounds. That's a...
That sounded like a gun went off.
It did. It sounded like a gunshot. That was really intense.
So now we need to find a material that'll take 600 pounds, but not 625.
Because it's happened before, and it's likely will deliver that kind of force to Buster again, and again, and again.
Well, there's this myth that if you fall off a high structure like a bridge or a crane or something over water and you throw a hammer in front of you, that it'll save your life because it'll break the surface tension of the water.
Bridge jumping. What a joy for Buster. But after the barrel of bricks, he was in no condition to jump off anything.
You know, I hadn't thought if it was possible to break a crash test dummy, but I must admit an inordinate amount of pride that we did.
So they broke him. But could they put him back together again?
Absolutely. We can totally rebuild him. We can make him better. He's just like a big Tinker Toy set, really.
While they were at it, Buster was to get a new brain.
This is an accelerometer. This will measure the G-force when he hits the water. I like this. I'm quite pleased with this. Want to get your chest back on? You think you're better than me? Hey, this guy's almost ready to throw off the roof.
Oh, good. This was to test the accelerometer.
3, 2, 1. That was perfect. We've cracked his entire head in. I mean, just some big old welds along here should be fine.
Easy for him to say. It wasn't his head. But the accelerometer worked fine. Now, they wanted to test this one at the Golden Gate Bridge, just like the myth. But security concerns meant they had to settle for a crane, 180 feet high.
It's a strange combination of like sheer terror and delight. I'm not sure. I think my fascination is overriding my terror.
First up, they tested Buster's impact without the hammer.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, no. Poor guy. Oh, no, no, no.
One drop, one leg. 2 drops. 2 legs. Who'd have thought?
He's completely trashed. The cast aluminum of his thigh bone right here absolutely just shattered in contact with the water. It's pretty obvious that from that height, you're completely screwed.
Legless? Buster concurred with that scientific assessment. But his day wasn't done. Would the addition of a hammer break the water's surface tension and save his skin?
We're ready on your count.
3, 2, 1, go.
In short, the hammer made no difference whatsoever.
I'd say that's a good day's work.
I want to get the hell off this crane.
Well, I'll tell you, I never imagined that falling into water, which I knew was dangerous, would actually tear you limb from limb. I mean, it tore Buster's legs right off.
Yeah, and then I had to spend a half a day on the weekend by myself out there with a clam rake finding the lower limb.
I'm really glad you did.
Well, for whatever good it did. How are you doing with the bone tests?
Excellent, actually. I've got what I think is perfect arm bone material, both upper and lower, and I'm just about to do the final test on this roughly 3/4 inch poplar spar, which I think is going to make a perfect set of leg bones for him. Ah, that was perfect. This broke at exactly the same weight as the human femur.
Yeah, it looks like Buster's new bones are going to be made out of poplar.
And you know what this will tell us is, for instance, if I got launched 200 feet out of a culvert, whether or not that resulting landing would actually break any of my bones.
Well, I think we already know the answer to that one.
Well, what's next in line for Buster is to put him in a 3-foot pipe with a bunch of gasoline and maybe even gunpowder and see if we can launch him like a cannonball.
In this myth, a hillbilly is blown over his house after trying to blast a raccoon out of a rain pipe using gasoline.
It's like a secret escape hatch.
Woo!
The guys had a pipe 3 feet round, just like the myth. It was positioned in a pile of earth for stability and safety.
Well, we've just covered the pipe with dirt, and so I guess we're going to pour some gasoline down there and light it with the dummy in the tube. We pretty well know that nothing's going to happen.
Just like the genius in the myth, Buster was positioned head first in the pipe, eyeballing the cranky raccoon.
The raccoon's probably all the way at the very end, you know, up against like a steel grate or something like that. So he's probably like right here, trying to be as threatening as a raccoon soaked with gasoline can be.
5 gallons of gasoline should get this party started.
Okay, it's kind of a lot. A lot of gasoline pouring out of there.
That's it.
That's it. All right, get out of there. In 3, 2, 1. There we go. We have ignition. Put it out now. Go. Well, that wasn't nothing at all. Let's see how our raccoon did. Oh. For those who like their raccoons deep fried. We replicated the myth, we got nothing. Now it's time to see what it takes to launch him out of that tube.
So, scratch gas. If you really want to blow a hillbilly over a house, you need gunpowder.
We're using 10 1-pound cans of the GoX black powder. That should give us a pretty good bang.
And a sealed tube. Jamie's built this foam sabot so Buster would be tight in the pipe, like a bullet in a barrel.
Oh, yeah.
Buster is locked in the sabot. It's a perfect fit.
So that's the 10-pounder, isn't it?
It's a 10-pounder.
Don't look like much.
Not until it goes off.
Look at that, that's perfect.
The whole damn thing could blow up for all we know, but our best shot is that it's going to come out of there, and it's going to come out really fast, and it's going to look really cool.
Jamie's so confident, he's parked Buster's chair right where he thinks he'll land.
Jamie, you hoping to catch him?
Yeah.
All right, that's about the most optimistic thing I've ever heard. If you catch him, I'll give you $100.
Buster, of course, would get nothing but trouble.
Firing in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God.
I almost made the chair.
You almost made the chair. Oh, he survived. Buster survived. Oh, woo. Oh, how you feeling, buddy?
Buster perfected the art of the nearly human cannonball, and once again gave all in the name of myth-busting. After a season of abuse, Buster the crash test dummy is being rebuilt from the ground up.
At this point, we're just about halfway there.
Now, once we get these parts molded into rubber, Buster will be ready for active duty.
And you know, this time he needs to be ready for absolutely anything, because somehow I don't think the original designers really intended him to test the world's deadliest washing machine.
In this myth, a man is overloading his washing machine. To stuff the clothes in, he stands inside the machine, but it switches on, spinning him around knocking baking soda off the shelf and terrifying his pet dog who pees on the soda.
Causing a small explosion, at which point the laundry machine went into its spin cycle, turning him at about 70 miles an hour, where he smacked his head into a shelf and died immediately.
Well, that sounds ridiculous.
Well, yeah. So the Mythbusters created Frankenwasher.
There we go. Now it's finally linked up. Good.
A bucking bronco of a machine, packing 10 horsepower of spin cycle insanity. A field trip to the park would turn up the other component of this myth, eventually.
Come on, come on. Jamie! What? He was gonna go in my pants. You messed it all up.
Good job.
Beautiful. Excellent.
And it was time to take Buster for a spin.
So he's swinging the butt all the way upside down, like this.
There's a camera out of there.
Yeah. Here. Now we lift him. Oh, wait. He's copping a feel. Right. There we go. Buster. See? See? We're done.
Buster's reluctance was understandable.
See, that was easy.
And his fortunes were about to take a turn for the worse. A big turn.
I told you no colors with the whites. Let's do it.
I'm gonna operate it from over here. It's safe distance. Okay, quiet, guys.
Ready?
By Mythbusters standards, Buster got off lightly, dizzy but otherwise unharmed.
That was a lot of fun. That was pretty cool. He was like a top or a Tasmanian devil.
But does the last part of this myth contain a drop of truth?
Basically, now I'm about to pour the dog wee on the pile of baking soda, which, if the myth is correct, should cause a small explosion. Or if we're actually on Earth, we'll do absolutely bupkis. Get me the Jack Russell Terrier urine. That ought to do it. They're hyper little creatures. All right, are you ready? Hot set!
Well, what do you know? Nothing happened.
No explosion at all. Well, Jamie, that's actually, I think, a first for us. There's not one fact about this myth that's true.
This round belongs to Buster. He emerges from that machine washed, dried, fluffed, and folded, and ready for more dirty work.
Well, Buster definitely got off pretty easy in the killer washing machine myth.
Yeah, we hardly had to do anything at all to fix him.
You know, I'm really hoping that this is the very last major rebuild we'll have to do for a while.
Yeah, well, I can't hardly wait to see what it takes to bust Buster's new skeleton.
Absolutely. Whoop.
Hey, it's not ready yet. We can't do that.
Sorry.
Hardly any of the original Buster will be left. Jamie and Adam have custom-made nearly all of the skeleton.
I love it. That's terrific. And there's a little bit of play in there. I think it's great.
He's got new, more flexible aluminum joints. And the wooden pieces will closely match the strength of human arms and legs. And best yet, they're all quickly and easily replaceable.
So, Dr. Heinemann, will I still be able to play the piano when this operation's over?
Piano playing is fine, but I would like you to watch the safety film on the dangers of playing the trombone.
This is a musical myth. A wacky trombonist thinks it'd be fun to fire his mute into the audience at the crescendo of the 1812 overture. Instead, his firecracker-propelled mute hits the conductor, blowing him into the crowd, and the trombone slide is shot into the second violinist. Strangely, none of the local concert halls expressed any desire to help out.
He's pretty floppy. It's like trying to get a dead guy to stand up.
So this would be an outdoor show, with Buster making his conducting debut. he had a little stage fright.
Hey, Jack.
Understandable, given the Mythbusters brought in pyrotechnician Jack Morocco to ensure they got enough bang for their concert-going buck.
Just another day of blowing something up.
I think it's going to be a nice loud bang. I think it's going to destroy the mute right off. I don't think nearly anything that we're going to be able to do is actually going to get the mute to Buster.
Continuity's good.
All right.
Are we all good to go?
Notice how everyone moved behind the safety screen. Some nights, Buster dreams of doing that.
In 3, 2, 1.
Well, it didn't go anywhere. That is gunpowder.
Using that trombone.
Holy crap!
Why is he smoking so much? It looks like it did hit him.
Shirt's on fire.
And look, the slide's still in place.
Slide.
That, I think if it didn't blow off with that, it's not gonna.
The slide is still in place.
It was quite a performance. Buster was hot, but of course, what self-respecting show ends without an encore? More gunpowder, please, Maestro.
Ready to fire in 3, 2, 1.
He had a blast, busted the myth, but Buster's conducting days were over. Buster was excited. They were taking him scuba diving. But this was no Hawaiian holiday.
Maybe we should grease him.
With some lard.
Myth has it a scuba diver was found dead in a forest fire. Seems he was sucked up by a firefighting helicopter and dumped there. Those choppers have massive pumps. To replicate the story, the Mythbusters built their own. And guess who got to play the unlucky diver? Adam helpfully pushed Buster up towards the funnel, but nothing.
There was just not enough suction to hold him. I mean, his tank was in the way, everything was in the way.
That was a lot of water coming out the other end, though.
And I have to tell you, if you were a diver and you heard that sound,
You'd go in the other direction.
I think you'd go in the other direction, because I can hear it very clearly under there, and it sounds like a bad thing.
The funnel and guard were removed from the pipe, and Buster stripped of his tank.
So we're pulling off the cowling, and we're gonna try him right on the end of the pipe. That's the worst case scenario. They don't run those machines like that, but that's what we're gonna try and see if there's enough suction at all.
Once more, Buster was sucked into the vortex. But as soon as air got into that tube, the suction was broken.
That is so busted!
It pulled him up out of the water a little bit.
A little bit short of a forest fire.
Well, this new Buster has a lot to live up to.
Yeah, you know, scuba divers the world over now feel safer diving near forest fires thanks to the old Buster's efforts.
And people in elevators know exactly what to expect if and when the cable snaps.
Although, you know, I think our title of that one was a little bit of a giveaway. The elevator of death, not the elevator of happiness.
Or the elevator of love.
No, that is a trapped elevator.
We're not going to test that one, are we?
Not you and me.
I guess that's it. It's an 8-story building.
For the elevator of death, Jamie found a hotel due for demolition and figured they'd get a little head start on the wrecking ball. This is the classic Last Hope myth. if your elevator falls, can you save yourself by jumping up right before hitting bottom? Buster was going for a ride. To do it, Jamie and Adam needed to rig the elevator to fall and rig Buster to jump at the right time. So first, put a little spring in his step. Enter Scotty with her blowtorch. Voila! The world's greatest pogo stick.
Okay, here we go. Well, that wasn't very much at all.
The world's greatest pogo stick.
About 20 centimeters. His feet came to about, I would say about here.
One more time, maybe?
I think that's a good run. I think we're there. That was significantly more than what we got before. He looked like he jumped.
Buster was bouncing beautifully. Time to take a fall.
We are cutting the cables. Stand by.
With considerable thought, a lot of work, and a little luck, Jamie and Adam managed to get the elevator working again.
Yeah, baby!
And rigged it with a quick release catch.
Okay, Buster, this won't hurt a bit.
Inside the car, Buster sat as comfortably as possible under the circumstances. The shaft was 8 stories high. A cable would pull the pin on his pogo stick 6 feet from the bottom.
It's about perfect to me. Okay, the rig is stationary.
There seemed little chance of this myth actually being true and saving Buster's life.
I think Buster's toast. But then that's his job.
Of course, they never mentioned that at the job interview.
All right, here we go. Ready to drop in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Man, that was intense.
That was such a rush. It was just like this enormous blast of air.
Oh, no.
His head's gone.
Buster might have literally lost his head, but not when it came to testing this myth. In some of his finest work, he showed there's no way jumping up will overcome the downward speed of a falling elevator car. He hit bottom at a shattering 51 miles an hour.
I don't know if we can put him back together.
Yeah, Scotty can do it.
We can rebuild him. We
come on.
have the technology.
His head came off.
His arm.
Cracked a few ribs.
And this goes here.
Did you go to medical school? I think Buster feels good about a job well done, and he just hopes that we don't put his head on backwards.
Well, here's a test piece of Buster's new flesh. It's called dragon skin.
Dragon skin.
Dragon skin because it's supposed to be resistant to heat and it's really tough.
That's really good. Well, I've got a simulated dragon right here. Let's see how it takes direct flame. I mean, it's not actually burning. God, look, it's getting red hot.
Well,
wow, it's perfect underneath.
it's not exactly fireproof, but it's definitely fire resistant, and that's all we need for Buster.
Well, we also need him to be able to take a pretty hard hit. I mean, remember his landing in the boom lift catapult?
You mean like that?
Well, no. I mean, it's more something like this.
I thought it was more like that.
I think it's ideal.
So Buster is really busted up now. Even though he still has his head this time, his arm is off. His arm attachment shoulder blade is just all broken up. His leg is off. His ball joint is missing now. He's still smiling though. He always has that little smile. I have to put him back together so that we can then launch him 200 feet from a boom lift catapult.
Scotty's metal maiden skills meant she was perfect for an ongoing role as Buster's personal physician.
How's Buster doing?
Both his legs are back on.
Woo! Look nice. I brought you something special. I heard his little heart got broken, so I made him a new one of duct tape for you to put in.
Is he ready for action again?
He is ready.
Look at that, brand new hips.
New heart, new hips. Buster's back in one piece, though not all his own pieces.
You're gonna take another ride.
Buster! Come on, stop clowning around.
He's wet his pants.
In this myth, he'll play the unfortunate hero who's trying to lift an engine out of a car using a boom lift. But the chain breaks, catapulting him over his house.
All right, I'm gonna count down. 49, 48. Just kidding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Buster didn't even spill his coffee.
No, he didn't even drop the cup.
The Mythbusters mayhem meter didn't even move. Time to supersize this one.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna raise it up, grab these points here, and then let the actual thing swing forward. Just like that.
And so a simple little myth turned into a magnificent, stupid, monstrous challenge. Once again, Buster would be at the center of the storm.
That looks pretty good. That looks good there.
Or at least, that's where he'd start. Adam thought he'd finish about 100 feet away.
Well, I mean, obviously the tradition is we always have to see if we can catch Buster by estimating his distance perfectly. So I think about another maybe 15 feet that way.
Got to be 100 times more, you know, thrust than what the myth would have in it. You still don't think he's going to go a couple 100 feet?
No, I don't think he's going to go much farther than right about here. Okay, I'm starting up, okay? Yep.
Next, the arm was lowered and cocked.
Stay back.
Adam took the strain in the forklift. Buster's slowly descending.
Everything looks just fine.
Roger that.
Okay.
Of all the places in the whole world for Buster to be just then, this was the worst.
On my count in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoops.
I don't think we're gonna be returning this lift.
So he did lose both legs.
Oh.
He lost both legs. His one leg separated and his hand ended up, what, 20 feet away.
What do you think, guys? Is the myth busted?
Oh, myth totally failed. Completely busted. Totally, completely busted.
And Buster, busted. And boom lift, busted.
Everything's busted.
To the ground, busted.
Buster's new dragon skin body is taking shape.
That looks pretty good. Oh, God, these are coming out great.
Oh, it looks like a chunk of meat.
It's perfect. The color is good, and it's really bouncy and fleshy.
I think it's a little pink, but maybe if Buster had had this flesh on him when he was in Plywood Builder, he would have bounced instead of crashed like he did.
He might have bounced a little bit, but I still don't think it would have helped him survive at all.
In the Plywood Builder myth, a construction worker falls from a building but survives by holding onto a sheet of plywood. Jamie and Adam will help the myth out by using 5 single sheets to make their own flying rigs. For this myth, Buster got a modification, the disturbingly named Ball of Death. This little globe of fake blood would smash if Buster took a fatal impact.
Wow.
It looks gruesome, doesn't it?
And so to the drop zone.
That's perfect.
The guys built full-sized plywood rigs
I'll just move this over here.
for Buster to test. From 60 feet up.
He's a very relaxed dude.
He doesn't know what's about to happen to him.
Okay, be careful with this guy now.
He has a brain.
You know, Buster, everyone really appreciates how you're willing to take one for the team time and time again. Are you ready for a piece of plywood? Oh, I can tell you're feeling it. Oh, he's ready.
Would the plywood sheet save Buster from another busting?
He's gonna die, but it's gonna look great.
Locked and loaded, over.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, the plywood didn't help at all. He hit the ground at 36 miles an hour. And the result?
He's got blood dripping out the back of his head.
Oh. We can look at the speed tests and we can look at the death ball, but I don't think I need to see either of them to say this one's busted.
He's done for.
Let's go get our solutions. Let's go try my wooden parachute.
Okay.
Strangely, the idea of falling beneath Adam's plywood parachute didn't seem to cheer Buster up.
Go. Oh, fat lot of good that did. Oh well, the best laid plans.
Nice try. You worked most of the way.
I'm taking solace in the fact that your wing is going to fail so utterly spectacularly.
Finally, Jamie's wing. Buster really needed a lucky break about now.
2.
He didn't get one.
Bummer.
Poor guy. That was better than I could have ever hoped. You know, this reminds me of when we first got him, how pink and perfect he was. I reckon we did pretty good for 4 days of work.
Yeah, he's not half bad.
But you know, there is one more thing that we have to do with this guy.
We've got to dress him.
Yeah, we do.
I think he'll fit in his clothes.
He's
I think he's a little porkier.
Look at him! He's so cute! Finally something for the female fans. I think he looks pretty darn good. I think he's ready for some high-impact, highly flammable, highly improbable situations.
You mean like simulating an ancient Chinese guy going into outer space on a throne that's got a whole bunch of rockets strapped to it?
That is exactly the type of situation I'm talking about. The story goes that a 15th century Chinese astrologer decided to see if he could launch himself into space. So he strapped 47 rockets around the base of his throne and had 47 people light 47 fuses all at once. And when they did, apparently, he went up in a puff of smoke. They claimed that he got into space. We're here to see if he did.
To test this improbable story, the Mythbusters built 2 kinda sorta authentic ancient Chinese thrones.
Oh, Adam, perfect.
Strapped to one would be bamboo rockets, powered by a dubious homebrew gunpowder Adam cooked up.
1, 0. Woohoo! That's perfect!
The other by conventional, modern, high-powered rocket engines.
We should put both legs in first, don't you think?
So all they needed was an ancient Chinese astrologer. Oh, and here he is now.
He looks great. Oh, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. I think Buster, AKA Wan Hu, is ready for his launch.
And rocket chair number 1 is ready too.
This is the most dangerous part. 80 pounds of gunpowder, 22 idiots, 1 crash test dummy. Priceless.
With 22 idiots to choose from, Buster was again entitled to wonder why he was the one being strapped to the rocket chair. The future was again looking bleak.
staring at a Chinese dressed crash test dummy on a throne strapped to 70 pounds of gunpowder. I just had another one of those Mythbusters moments.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, it was fast, whatever it was.
Just like Wang Hu, Buster's vanished. But he's no astronaut. In fact, he's toast.
Get the dummy before it goes.
His ass is on fire! And here I thought the elevator of death was the most damage he'd ever withstand. He is burnt to a crisp.
I think there's hardly a single patch of skin left on his body that is uncharred. And, you know, frankly, I don't think this is something that we can really fix. Buster is gone as we know him.
Buster, AKA Chinese astrologer, was completely obliterated. I mean, the amount of heat was just unfathomable. Buster was taken to another world in a puff of smoke.
Buster was entitled to hope that other world would be a safer, kinder place, but it wasn't. As soon as he'd stopped sizzling, he was strapped into rocket chair number 2, the one with the serious power.
We have a fair suspicion that this chair is actually going to go somewhere. And so lest Buster just fall out in the first couple of feet, I thought we should probably anchor him a little better than we did the last time.
Looks like Buster's ready for the second shot.
Just look out and stay away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, there you go. Well, he definitely got off the ground. Oh, my poor chair. Oh, man.
I'm glad we tied him in.
I think everything held as good as we could have asked it to hold.
Myth busted, and a familiar feeling for Buster. Shooting for the stars, winding up battered and burnt in the dirt. Life as a Mythbuster was never meant to be easy. But who knew it was going to be this hard? And from the ashes of the Ming Dynasty rocket, the new, improved Buster rises like a phoenix.
Well, you know, he may have the same head, hands, and feet, but the new improved Buster has a ton of new features.
Yeah, he's fireproof.
He's got breakable bones.
He's got joints that won't be too hard to replace, which we will have to replace.
Yeah, he's exactly the same weight as the old Buster. I mean, we put the old Buster through an awful lot of trials and tribulations. We dropped him off a bridge.
We've dropped bricks on him.
We've blown him up with Chinese explosives.
We dropped him 8 stories on an elevator.
He's been blown up sitting on a toilet.
We fired him out of a cannon.
Flung from a boom lift catapult. Flown off a building holding onto a piece of plywood. I mean, he's done an awful lot, and hopefully, this new Buster has the same type of destructive future to look forward to. I'm going to christen him. I christen you Buster 2.0.
Are you going to make me repair his head again?
I christen you Buster 2.0. I christen you Buster 2.0.
You've never done that before, have you?
No, have you done that?
No.